basically, I want to hear your take. If you were the head coach of your favorite team for this specific matchup, how would you game plan for this opponent? Yeah, for sure. So I generally basically just want Mahomes off the field. We know how quickly the Chiefs can score. So if the Eagles can have long, sustained drives, uh, with a lot of the running game, that would be the ideal game plan for myself. Obviously, easier said than done. But we'll kick it over to Dynasty Santa. So, Steve, what? How would you approach this game? Just like the first thing that comes to mind, if you were the head coach, what would you want to try to capitalize on or stop on the Chiefs side?
I mean, I think we all know it's going to be the Mahomes Kelsey show. So they really don't have many other weapons that strike much fear into a defense like ours. So you have to send the house, which we've been doing much of the year. So I think keeping up that strong pass rush, being aggressive with the pass rush is key, and then stopping Kelsey, locking him down. I'm super excited to have Gardner Johnson, been back for a while now, healthy after missing a good chunk of the season. I think he's going to be a really important role player on defense. For the game to hopefully, not sure if he'll exactly be the Kelsey equalizer, but I know just that's probably what I would game plan and try to do. And then, like I said, of course, send the house on defense. From an offensive perspective, like our stinky Chiefs fans here have been saying, their secondary isn't great. So I would say, the running game's been our bread and butter most of the year, but this is the big game. I think if you're having trouble establishing the run, you got to just pick on these corners. We have the ability to do that, I would say, pretty easily. So I'm hoping that, the game plan doesn't go south if, one aspect isn't working, especially primarily the run game. But, I think we've got a lot of options in the passing game that can, really be the difference maker there. So I'm making sure that, AJ Brown's getting his targets, Smith's getting his targets, Goddard's getting just keep hammering these guys all game, and I think that's a nice little recipe for success there.
I love it. So how about you, Darren? Is there anything that you're especially worried about on the Chiefs side? Does like Chris Jones strike fear into you, and Frank Clark, guys like that, or do you think the offensive line's gonna be enough to hold them back?
You just read my mind, man.
Oh, perfect.
From the start with this conversation, I was thinking Chris Jones is going to be a problem. He's just been wrecking lines all year. He's going to affect our run game in a big way. Our offensive scheme up front really has to be dialed in. We got to get those double teams down, and we got to control those guys. And I think a key to us winning this game is starting off hot. We've been starting off hot in games and getting really good first drives, and even if they don't end on a touchdown, we're pinning them deep. But we, started off a couple games with that first touchdown, and it just makes them feel comfortable where they are. So usually I'm like a defer guy when we win the coin toss, but I wouldn't even mind, taking the ball first and just getting that chance of getting an opening score and, already having Mahomes on his toes when he's coming out of the field.
Gotcha. I love it. No, it's so true. If we can start strong and kind of get them reeling early, that would be great. But I don't know, just the Patrick Mahomes factor to me, I'm just the most nervous about. But Jason, speaking of Patrick Mahomes, he still has a little bit of issue with his ankle. In his past two Super Bowl appearances, he's thrown 2 interceptions in each. What would you game plan for if you were the head coach? Round up the guys. What would you say is the number one priority in this game?
So I think it's been pretty deftly handled from the panelists. I've kind of got the leftovers here, but I mean, I will totally agree that the Chiefs secondary is something that obviously I think both coaching staffs are going to recognize as a vulnerability. They had they allowed the most passing touchdowns in the entire league this season, which is kind of a crazy stat for a team that's in the Super Bowl. And the Eagles, they can pass when they want to pass or they need to pass. They kind of get a reputation as a rushing first team. But I think Jalen Hurts has shown an ability to go downfield if he needs to. To me, my game plan, if I'm Sirianni and I'm working this out, what I'd like to see them do is come out and show that run first mentality, hopefully have some success. I mean, I'm not saying breaking off 20-yard runs out of the gate, but, move the chains a couple times, kind of force the Chiefs to compress that box, bring, Justin Reed down in the box, suck those defenders up tight, and then start taking shots downfield to Smith and to Brown, because then you've got them in a one-on-one situation with an untested secondary, a lot of young guys, a lot of inexperienced guys that are now in the Super Bowl, which is probably going to have the adrenaline going, and they're going to be worried about getting beat. So they're going to give a big cushion, and I think there's definitely, it's kind of like one thing, one hand washes the other. If your RPOs are working and that run game is working and Miles Sanders is getting 3-4 yards of carry and you're able to move the chains, all of a sudden now the Chiefs have to react. And now that's when things really can kind of open up and you can exploit some of that vulnerability downfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Yeah, it sounds good. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a really fun game. I'm obviously very nervous, but I'm not quite as nervous in this one compared to going up against the 49ers. Maybe that's just like a coping mechanism I have. Like, I don't know. But I just think it's going to be a really fun game. Like, so I'm just like really, really looking for it. I generally speaking don't have any ill will towards the Chiefs in general. Like, going into the game against the Patriots, I was like, we're going up against like the Death Star, like the evil empire, like it's just all the nerves were there, like so much at stake there. Plus like getting the revenge from like 2004, everything else, or 2005. Either way, I'm a little bit more at ease going into this one. I'm very excited for it, but obviously I want to come out on top, but very much looking forward to it. But great points all around, guys. Appreciate your insight there.